So you guys should see, double check. Looks like you should see my blackboard here. Yep. I want to point out a couple of things for you. You should all be able to see everything now. Everything in forces and energy, everything in momentum, everything in circular motion and torque, fluids and matter. Everything should be open except for the things that are going to be time released. I want to go ahead because tomorrow is the end of week 3. We're halfway through the semester and we got a lot to do before we get going for the final. Because this is an OLive class, so this is considered not an online class, this is a synchronous class. You do not have to go to the testing center for the final. So there is no requirement that you have to go and have a proctored test. So that's good news because of how we do this class. But I want to point out a couple of things. One, in the final folder. Okay, there it goes. It just didn't look like. You have a quiz that is in WebAssign. This is this quiz. I use this quiz for my assessment. And I use it, and I'm not sure exactly when it opens, but it should open fairly soon. And it will be harder than the final. So the quiz is actually, if you get through the quiz, if there's no time limit on the quiz, you can go in, you can work on it, and you can come back to it. But that quiz is a good study item for the final. In here is the practice for the final. And it is a multiple choice test. You can do it as many times as you want until 6:30 on the 18th of June. There are a lot more questions in there than there will be on the final, but this will give you exactly the kinds of questions that you're going to see on the final in the form that you will see the final in. Because in order to get things graded quickly and all of that, I do the final as a multiple choice. So that final is there. So there are some things that you can, it's not June 8th. For some reason, I kept hitting June 8th. It's June the 20th by 7 p.m. And I will actually go ahead and get that fixed because I can edit that. For some reason, I kept clicking and hitting the 8 when I was doing this, but it is not. This is June 20th, and we'll save that. And so it is fixed. All right, so that's information about the final. The fluid and matter section is 1 chapter. You have a great deal of information here. This is a chapter that we're going to hit the last week. So just be aware that this one goes fairly quickly. But I have opened up everything ready for you to do so. You will see in WebAssign, there is another assignment. I have not linked it to Blackboard at all. It is not for a grade, but for those of you who may be taking the MCAT, you may want to look at that chapter 10, 11, 12 assignment. I am not linking it to Blackboard. It is there for you just to see what the MCAT questions are. But it's not going to be linked and it is not going into the grade book. It is just there for your reference. That's there, it's out there so that you have it to be able to do it. We are going to be working on forces and energy this week and next. And then after that, towards the end of next week and the 5th week, we'll be dealing with momentum and torque. So in here in the momentum chapter, you have everything is already out there and available for you. And everything in the circular motion and torque is out there and available for you. You will have an exam over momentum and circular motion. So there's that exam. And then you do have an exam under forces and energy, you will have that exam, and that exam will be due on June the 9th. So just keeping you apprised of what's all there. And everything's open because we kind of raced through this, and I wanted to make sure everything got open today so that you guys can work ahead, get your extra credit bonus points, all of that, because I know once we hit June, students tend to have some kind of an event somewhere along the way. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody had access to all of those things. Couple of you asked for specific questions on specific problems. So let me give you the specific problem. In the lectures and two-dimensional projectile motion folder, not that one, it's the other one, it's the helpful videos and examples and solutions that goes with that one. The review of homework problem chapter 2, number 8. That's the instantaneous velocity problem. Having reviewed this part, I've gone through about half of the tests, and I can tell you that it looks like you all got it. The things that I am finding as a mistake on that particular problem that looks exactly like chapter 2, homework problem number 8, is that somehow along the way in your calculator, you did something fumble fingered and the values just aren't showing up correctly. But that video right there goes through that problem step by step. I had a couple of you ask for the first test, particularly problem number 10. If you go here to solutions to the first test, I have the entire test calculated so that people can see. Now, this first one, this is one of those things because I give you open book, open notes, open resources. I expect to see your graph in Excel or in Google Sheets, not just hand drawn on the test. So some of the grading that I've already done, people have lost points because they haven't done that. You needed to do a curve fit. And my curve fit, you also have my copy of my Excel. My curve fit gives me this value. Looking for my acceleration, I get to that value, and that gives me there. This is my calculation for the number of breaths. This is my numbers for reading off of the graph so that you can see where my numbers come from. This problem, a lot of people are missing because you used this angle. And I would like for you to go back and read the question, because the question says that the ladder makes the angle with the wall. This is the wall. There's my angle. If I'm using this angle, that would be the angle with the floor. This is the angle with the wall. So I'm giving you the wall and the hypotenuse. So you need to be using the sine. And this is the side that you're calculating. So that is the common mistake for number 4. Common mistake for number 5 is that you use 20 instead of 18. Common mistake for number 6 is that you don't give me an explanation. I've seen some strange calculations here, but that's just a math one. This is the item for number 9. And then I had people ask for the full detail for problem number 10. So here's the red car or the blue car, the red car, and then you get the values. This is what I get as my values, but I'm accepting 528. The other thing is that I did, just so you guys are aware, I did write these numbers reversed. It is actually 0.781. It is not 0.718, but this is what I'm looking for to make sure that you've gotten that particular problem. So you do have all of your test test solutions are there. So questions, because I think those were the two big things in the weekly surveys that people asked for in the process of getting those graded. And then everything is open at this point, except for the time released items, which are primarily the tests. Questions?